Okay, let's give you guys some more practice. So you would be given a function like this: f equals blah 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 here, and this is all that you're given, and you've got to find the range and the domain for this function here. Okay. So normally this will be all that's given to you, but I'm going to guide you through it this time. So notice that this thing here, it's a negative here. So really you've got a negative quadratic somehow. Okay, just by looking at the x squared, and there's a minus in front of the x squared, so you know it's going to be an upside down U curve, if you like. But let me guide you through, and then later on I will ask you to pause and have a go. But for the time being here, I've done a whole section on completing the square. But your first aim when you're given something like this is to picture the graph inside your head. So somehow get to the graph, and the way when you're given this here, well, factorize it. But basically, you've been given this here. Your aim is to draw a graph of this thing here. If once you've got your graph inside your mind, you will know what to do in order to find out the range and the domain. So here, well, here well, the aim here is to draw this graph here. So the first step is, well, well, we prefer to put the x squared at the front. It's just something that we're used to. So let's move this to the front. So you have minus x squared here, and then this here plus x squared, plus x here, and then plus 8 here, plus 8 here. We're just rearranging it. So once you're here, well, let's move the negative out so that we can work with a positive quadratic. It's something that we're used to. I've done a whole section on this, so if you don't understand this, watch quadratic equations. Okay, so once you're at this stage here, factor out the negative. So it's like this. So this here will become a negative. Okay, here, and then this here will become a negative. Okay, once you're here, hang on. Once you're here, yeah. So now when you're here, you can factorize this. Two numbers multiplied together gives you 8, and well, you've got to be able to create a negative 2. Well, I know I'm going to use a 4 and a 2, and you see, if I make this a negative, then I will be able to create a 2. Well, anyway, when you're here, you can factorize it to become, hang on, to become this here. Okay. Yeah. So but don't forget the minus is still on the outside. Okay. Now once you're here, don't forget this minus makes the quadratic negative, so it will be an upside down U. And looking at this here, you know one root will be positive 4. So this will be 4 here, and the other root is negative 2. So I'm going to guess somewhere around here. So well, it's going to be a negative quadratic. So it's going to be like this, going through the 4. Okay, going through the 4s. But your next step is to find out this thing here, because you want to find out the range. The range would be, well, the range would be where this thing hits. Well, the range will be all the way down here. So you know you need this point here. What is this point? Well, to find out this point here, you would complete the square. Okay, so from this stage here, you would complete the square just in order to find out this point. Okay, yeah, your aim is really to find out this point. You didn't actually need to work out the two roots, but it gives us an understanding of what's going on. But in order to find out the range, you need to know this point here, so that the range will be everything on here. So your aim is to find out this thing here. So from here, complete the square. Okay, so it will be, so this is what we had earlier. We factor out the negative. Okay, so now just concentrate on this bit here. You would complete the square in this. So you know, well, when you're here, you know you're going to need something like, in the form of something, half of this, which is net 1, and then square it, and then immediately take away the rubbish. Now, take away the rubbish, which will be positive 1, and then, well, you would immediately take the rubbish away and then take the negative down here. So it will give you this. Now, I know I'm going a bit fast on this, but I've done a whole section on how to get from here to here. So if you don't understand it, then watch one of the earlier videos. So from here, you would simplify these two to become a -9. Okay, and when you're here, you really got all that you need, because because once you're here, you can identify that this is 1 and this is 9. Okay, well, don't worry if you don't understand this. The point is that when given this function here, you can actually translate this to this whole thing. Okay, it can be done. I don't expect you to fully understand this. Just know that when given this here, you can actually jump. It is possible to jump to this graph inside your mind. Okay. Now, once you're here, now my question is given that the graph is like this, find the range. Okay, find the range and the domain. Okay. So here, my point is that given the original question, I'm just trying to illustrate that it is possible to get to this graph here. Okay. Now my question is, given this graph here, work out the range and the domain. Okay. So press pause and have a go. Okay. So the range here, hang on. The range here would be, well, the height here is 9. Okay. So the range here would be, well, it includes a 9 as well. So, well, it would be everything at the bottom all the way up to the 9. So it would be, hang on, it would be negative infinity, negative infinity, comma, and then everything up to the 9. So it would be this. Okay, so this here is your range, and your domain, your domain would be everything on here. So the domain is, well, you could say x belonging to everything on the real number line. So this here is your domain. Okay, it can basically, your domain can be anything on the real number line, but your range is really everything below 9. Another way of writing the range is less than, well, let's just stick to this convention here. Okay, this is your range, this is your domain. Okay.